It's the 6th round of the Formula One season in 2020. We'll return to the site of pre-season testing. It's the Spanish Grand Prix at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya. This is, of course, our 6th stop on the road. The Belgian Grand Prix is in 2 weeks' time, followed by the Italian Grand Prix and the Tuscany Grand Prix to celebrate Ferrari's 1000th Grand Prix. A week off before we head over to Russia, and then Germany and Portugal, followed by the Imola Rodrigo Grand Prix at Imola. In terms of the Driver Championship, Lewis Hamilton leads the way on 30 points from Max Verstappen. Valtteri Bottas is close behind in third. Charles Leclerc leapfrogs Lando Norris in fifth place. And then we get Alexander Albon, Lance Stroll, Sergio Perez, Daniel Ricciardo and Esteban Ocon completing the top 10. Carlos Sainz is 11th from Pierre Gasly in 12th. Sebastian Vettel 13th. Nico Hülkenberg 14th. He gets 6 points on the board for Racing Point. Then Antonio Giovinazzi, Danny Kvyat and Kevin Magnussen on 1 point. Still to score points, Kimi Raikkonen, Nicholas Latifi, George Russell and Romain Grosjean. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes lead the way, 180 points to Red Bull on 113. Ferrari now back up to third on 55, 2 points in front of McLaren on fourth. Racing Point are closing down, Renault are 6th, AlphaTauri 7th, Racing Alfa Romeo are 8th, Haas are 9th and Williams are 10th. Hello everybody and welcome to the Grand Review podcast for the 2020 Spanish Grand Prix. It wasn't exactly the most thrilling of the weekends that we have ever had at this circuit, or indeed going forward of what we've had this year, but it provided us with almost undenying certainty that A, the Pirelli tyres are not up to scratch, and that B, Lewis Hamilton seems to be on course to become this year's world champion for a 7th time. Now all the action got underway on Friday, so let's see what happened in the first practice session. Okay, so let's move on then to the first practice session for the Spanish Grand Prix. A little bit more of an interesting one to go forward as well. It was live on our YouTube page, so go back and watch as well. But still, Roy Nissany got his first ever taste of Formula One action. His father did about 10 years ago, and now he has as well. And he had a little spin down at turn 10 as well, just locking the rear is a simple mistake, but a decent opening running for him as well, and close to Latifi's time within 0.3 of a second as well. But it was Valtteri Bottas who kept the status quo at the front. Mercedes dominant in FP1 in every single session for 6 years, and what is due to be the coolest of the conditions so far, believe it or not, track temperature at 37 degrees, air temperature at just 30, it is going to be the coolest of the day due to the fact that it's going to get hotter in the afternoon. But Bottas was just ahead of Hamilton by 0.039 over the session. Verstappen third, the top three remaining the same throughout the season, it seems to be. Verstappen just held off as well by around 0.2 of a second to Charles Leclerc and Sebastian Vettel completing the top 5 as well. Perez back out for the first time since contracting the coronavirus and missing the 2 Silverstone races, back in the car now, and he did brilliantly. Medium tyres, and he went into 7th place as well. Albon was 8th for Red Bull. Kevin Magnussen, 100th off him in 9th place, and Lance Stroll rounded out the top 10 as well. Neither McLarens were in the top 10. Carlos Sainz's home Grand Prix and Lando Norris coming back after 2 races at home wasn't very good either. The Renaults were a bit dodgy as well in the opening session. AlphaTauri 14th and 17th with Gasly ahead of teammate Danny Kvyat as well further back. Giovinazzi 15th and Raikkonen 16th as well. Ricciardo 18th. That was a big shocker. Ricciardo never usually that far down, but as we said in the commentary of Free Practice 1, it's always going to be about that. We'll see more about what is actually going to happen with the runs in Free Practice 2 as it's more relevant to qualifying and the race. Russell was out of the car in the first session, as I said, so he decided to become a lollipopman as well, holding up the lollipop for the driver who replaced him of Roy Nissany as well. And a brilliant session for Roy Nissany as well. He had to go back to the Formula 2 and ended up locking up again and going straight on because he wasn't used to the power differential changing backwards and forwards once again. But still, an interesting session, but not really relevant. But let's take a look at the times from FP1. So the first practice results then from the Spanish Grand Prix. Valtteri Bottas is on top at 1:16.785. Lewis Hamilton second at 1:16.824. Max Verstappen is third at 1:17.724. Charles Leclerc fourth fastest on a 1:17.970. Sebastian Vettel is fifth on a 1:17.981. Romain Grosjean sixth on a 1:18.291. Sergio Perez seventh on a 1:18.471. Then we drop down to Alexander Albon in 8th on a 1:18.606. Kevin Magnussen 9th on a 1:18.620. And Lance Stroll rounds out the top 10 at 1:18.643. Carlos Sainz is 11th at 1:18.733. Esteban Ocon in 12th at 1:18.736. Lando Norris is 13th on a 1:18.744. Pierre Gasly 14th at 1:18.888. Antonio Giovinazzi 15th at 1:18.917. Kimi Raikkonen 16th at 1:18.981. Danny Kvyat 17th at 1:19.145. Danny Ricciardo 18th on a 1:19.230. Nicholas Latifi in 19th on a 1:23.34. And Roy Nissany is 20th on his debut in FP1, a 1:20.664. It was a joyous session and a bit more confusing one. Mercedes there or thereabouts, racing point jumping into it. We expected Renault to really shine, but they didn't until the afternoon session. Let's see what happened there in free practice 2. Okay, so here's the times then from free practice 2. Lewis Hamilton was the fastest overall. He had Bottas, but surprisingly, Romain Grosjean showing the pace that Haas car has now they've done some updates. P5 overall, a stellar lap for him. But Mercedes once again securing a 1-2 here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. As well, Hamilton just slower than the predicted times he was in the afternoon, a 1:16.883, 2/10 back, nearly 3, 0.287 was Valtteri Bottas. Verstappen was third, Ricciardo fourth, and Grosjean fifth. So Ricciardo from 18th all the way up to 4th. That proves the pace that the Renault has coming into this weekend. It does look an incredibly good car going forward as well. Grosjean won better as well. He was looking good in the afternoon. Charles Leclerc and Sebastian Vettel, well, they were struggling a lot in the second session as well. Leclerc was P6, way off what he was in the morning, but Sebastian Vettel, after having promises that he had changed the monocoque of the car and changed the chassis, and it seemed to be delivering better for him, was P12 in free practice 2. A lot of work still to be done for the Ferrari. Charles Leclerc in 6th, Carlos Sainz 7th as well. He's got a new chassis as well going forward. Perez 8th fastest on his first day back as well. The top 10 was Esteban Ocon, who had a lack of rear grip over the team radio, we heard in our ears as well. Behind Vettel and Albon, Lando Norris 14th as well. Alfa Tauri of Kvyat and the second Haas of Magnussen as well further back. Alfa Romeo were not good at all in that session. 17th and 18th with Raikkonen, and then Latifi and Russell bringing up the rear. Nothing happened all day. The track temperature rocketed in the afternoons. That created a little bit of a difference of opinion among the tyres. It seems to be that the mediums will be the one to go on the compound for qualifying and the race. But as Megan texted me and reminded me of, it looks to be another 3-stop race. Join us then later on for all the action. But let's take a look at the times in FP2. So Lewis Hamilton tops the second practice session on a 1:16.883. Valtteri Bottas is second at 1:17.170. Max Verstappen is third fastest at 1:17.704. Danny Ricciardo 14th on a 1:17.868. Romain Grosjean completes the top 5 on a 1:18.133. Then we get Charles Leclerc in 6th place on a 1:18.147. Carlos Sainz 7th on a 1:18.214. Sergio Perez 8th on a 1:18.293. Esteban Ocon 9th on a 1:18.303. And Pierre Gasly rounds out the top 10 on a 1:18.312. Lance Stroll is 11th on a 1:18.357. Sebastian Vettel drops down to 12th place in this session, a 1:18.404. Alexander Albon is 13th on 1:18.491. Lando Norris 14th on a 1:18.506. Danny Kvyat 15th at 1:18.642. Kevin Magnussen 16th at 1:18.761. Kimi Räikkönen is 17th at 1:18.9. Antonio Giovinazzi 18th on a 1:18.964. Nicholas Latifi 19th at 1:19.155. And then in 20th is George Russell on a 1:19.391. Hotter conditions were anticipated throughout the weekend. More drama, less drama, but still nobody could have predicted the shambles of a Saturday that we were on for. Let's take a look at what happened in free practice 3. And this is what happened in the third practice session. Well, mainly, this session was about finding out which tyre we want to use for the race. Now, the medium tyre seems to be the qualifying 2 tyre for those trying to get into Q3 to start the race on the medium, so we get a long duration into the race. However, it does look like the reds will be the predominant tyre that we see in qualifying. So who's going to risk trying to get through on the red tyres before going into the last 2? It's going to be an interesting session. So we just saw a few trading of times. Hamilton topped the session from Bottas again as well. Verstappen in third, the usual top 3, dominating. But there's a lot more to look at as well, because at the end of the session there was a lot of cars backing up into each other and spoiling everybody's lap time. A lot of traffic issues as well. Nico Rosberg on Sky Sports F1 commentary was saying about introducing a minimum lap time, almost to prove his point. 2 minutes to go before the end of the session. Esteban Ocon lets Kevin Magnussen through. Magnussen backs up in the middle of the track. Esteban Ocon, right up behind him after speeding back up again, has to quickly counteract the steering to avoid a contact, smashes his Renault into the wall. So the question is, that brought out the red flag and the session wasn't restarted. So this brings the question is, how dangerous is it going to be in qualifying? Are we going to see another Monza situation happen, or are they going to have to adapt to survive? Let's hope we get a good one. Just a quiet FP3 bar from Esteban Ocon then. Let's take a look at the times from the third practice session. So Lewis Hamilton tops the third practice session on a 1:17.222. Valtteri Bottas in second on 1:17.373. Max Verstappen in third on a 1:17.737. Carlos Sainz in fourth on a 1:18.046. Sergio Perez rounds out the top 5 on 1:18.096. Then we get Charles Leclerc sixth on a 1:18.193. Pierre Gasly in seventh on 1:18.211. Lance Stroll in eighth on a 1:18.309. Alexander Albon ninth on a 1:18.371. Danny Ricciardo completes the top 10 on a 1:18.384. Esteban Ocon is 11th on 1:18.602. Sebastian Vettel is 12th on a 1:18.707. Romain Grosjean 13th on 1:18.710. Kimi Räikkönen 14th on a 1:18.721. Lando Norris 15th on 1:18.803. Danny Kvyat in 16th on a 1:18.852. Kevin Magnussen 17th on 1:18.940. Antonio Giovinazzi 18th on 1:19.175. George Russell 19th at 1:19.297, and Nicholas Latifi is 20th at 1:19.764. A quiet third practice session, times looking to come down later in qualifying, but it was very eventful. Qualifying for the 2020 Spanish Grand Prix with no Megan Birch this weekend. Commentary fell to both myself, Joshua Birch, and joining me in the commentary box all weekend is Ian Birch. Here's your qualifying highlights for the Spanish Grand Prix.
Qualifying 1.
And the green light is on, and the first part of qualifying is underway for the 2020 Spanish Grand Prix. 20 cars, 18 minutes. They all head out onto the circuit in order to try and find the best pace and the best time possible to make it through to the second part of qualifying. At the end of this session, we will lose the slowest 5 drivers, and everyone now just getting ready to head out. Are they going to head out on the medium compound tyre? Well, Well, that looks a bit unlikely because they want to start that on the medium tyre in the race tomorrow. So everybody in this session, I predict, will use up their allocation of the soft compound tyre that we know doesn't work well around this circuit. So no one's going to use the hards. Everyone is going to be on the softs in this session. It'll be into Q2 where we see the tyre change start to appear. And Verstappen goes fastest, a 1:17.415 in this session. Valtteri Bottas was going quicker, but Hamilton is an astounding 4/10 of a second faster in the middle sector. This is looking like a glory run for Lewis Hamilton at the moment. Dominant, yes, here in Spain, but with 10 minutes to go, Bottas now goes faster than Verstappen by 0.02 of a second, a 1:17.413. Lewis Hamilton comes across the line now, and he goes fastest by 3.5 of a second, a 1:17.037 for Hamilton. So it's Hamilton, Bottas and Verstappen the top three, and now Norris goes into fourth, a 1:17.888, a 1:17.888 is his time. Lance Stroll also looking good. Charles Leclerc goes into fourth, a 1:17.540, and everyone now just starting to look not good, but looking a lot better and a lot easier as well to handle. And everybody, as I predicted, has gone out on the soft compound tyre. Nobody deciding to risk it and go out on the harder compound. Stroll goes second, a 1:17.319. Perez is on a good lap time as well. He's in the middle sector. Carlos Sainz, fastest of all in the first sector, but okay, personal best in the second. Peter Gasly goes sixth. 6 times off the pace. Here comes Perez. Is he going to go second? He does. A 1:17.117. I thought he would jump up the order. Here comes Carlos Sainz. Third fastest time? No, sixth fastest time. A 1:17.438. Very impressive time there. And into the pit lane comes Max Verstappen. You can see those tyres are already blistering on the inner, the front lefts, and they've already done 3 laps. 2 minutes to go here in the first part of qualifying. The top 15 are separated by 1 full second. It's unbelievable what we're seeing here as well. As Russell on the radio saying, mate, it's going to be a massive traffic jam here. And that's what was predicted at the end of free practice 3. We saw exactly how the traffic jam would compromise you. They've all headed out in about a 2x2 staggered formation. 1 yellow flag in front of them. That's it, and it's game over. Away we go then on the last qualifying laps for some of these runners in the first segment of this qualifying elimination system. Looking at Esteban Ocon in the rebuilt Renault, dropping down the hill towards turn number 1. A dramatic drop actually after the longest run to the first corner of the season. A quick flick right left before you flick right again. Uphill now towards turn number 4. The car pushes you out wide as you come now to the braking zone of 4, turn it into the left hand side. Ocon's only 3 thousandths off of Hamilton's time. Party mode is coming up. Drop down the hill towards turn 5 again, get on the brakes, turn into the left, get the power out of the exit as you go underneath the bridge that connects the 2 halves of the track for the fans. Fly uphill now towards turn 7 and 8, the chicane. Turn 9, a flat out corner. What's his time as he comes across? 254.4 kilometers an hour as you open up the DRS towards the braking zone of turn 10. Hard on the brakes with about 70 metres to go. Turn the car into a very tight left, then left again. Uphill now the starts to climb 30 metres uphill as you approach the chicane areas of turns 12 into 13 and 14 now. Little double chicane area for 14 and 15. Turn 16 is the old sweeper of the track. Esteban Ocon then through the right-hander towards the line. 13th at the moment and goes up to 10th, a 1:17.765. But the checkered flag is out now. Valtteri Bottas is the first to meet it. He only goes third fastest to 1:17.247. Ricciardo, 9th at the moment, stays 9th. Albon 11th. He's perfectly safe, but can he get up anywhere? Yes, he does. Albon goes 6th at 1:17.419. Behind him is Lando Norris in 12th fastest. He goes 9th, 1:17.577. Then we get Kimi Räikkönen 17th. Can he disrupt? No. Giovinazzi goes 20th. Räikkönen to 13th. Finally, Alfa Romeo get through. 1:17.769. Kvyat goes up into 12th now. now, pushes Raikkonen down. Vettel's on the cusp of being eliminated, but goes into 9th place, a 1:17.573. Charles Leclerc just ahead of him. Hamilton, a 1:16.872, new fastest lap of the session so far. Here comes Charles Leclerc. He goes to 4th, 1:17.256. Romain Grosjean 17th at the moment. Verstappen goes to 3rd. On board with Grosjean now to the line. He only goes 16th. Russell is 17th. Russell will not qualify for Q2. That ends his run. Gasly goes 17th. Magnussen can only go 16th. And Latifi, I think, has backed out of his lap. He has. So we have the elimination zone here for qualifying. But for the first time this season, I think, we've got Kimi Raikkonen through to the next part of qualifying. After a disastrous couple of races where he's qualified on the last row and at the back in 20th, he's finally got through to Q2 and at best will start 15th, or at worst start 15th. At the best he could start in the top 10, but that car surprising everybody. Hamilton tops the session, a 1:16.872 from Perez, Verstappen, Bottas, Leclerc, Stroll, Gasly, Albon, Sainz and Vettel the top 10, Norris, Ricciardo, Kvyat, Ocon and Kimi Raikkonen, the 15 drivers that are progressing to the next segment of qualifying of Q2. Eliminated though in the first part of qualifying for the 2020 Spanish Grand Prix is the two Haas cars of Kevin Magnussen in 16th and Romain Grosjean in 17th. The two Williamses of George Russell in 18th and Nicholas Latifi 19th, and the Alfa Romeo of Antonio Giovinazzi will start this race in 20th place.
Qualifying 2.
And the green light is on, and the second part of qualifying for the 2020 Spanish Grand Prix is underway. 15 minutes, 15 drivers. Once again, they will go out, hopefully, in a little bit more of a staggered formation than what we just saw of everyone going out together. But at the end of this session, we will lose the slowest 5 drivers to have our top 10 shootout. Question is, though, what tyres are we going to see in this session? Predicted that everyone is going to run the medium compound tyre, so that's their starting tyre to go forward. But for those who already know they're not going to get into Q3, are they going to put on the softs and run the risk of getting into Q3 because everyone's going to be slower? Well, Mercedes have given us that answer. They are leaving the pit lane now with brand new soft compound tyres. So Mercedes are starting on the softs. My goodness. 9 minutes and 35 seconds left then, and so far we're just having the first runs on these tyres. They're all on the softs again, so that is surprising me that everyone's going to start the race on the soft compound tyre, so everyone's going to run into the same issue unless it's wet tomorrow. The likelihood of that is about 0. But it's Hamilton from Bottas, Verstappen, Norris, Albon, Ricciardo, Ocon, Perez. Well, Perez hasn't had a lap time yet, but he's 4/10 down already. That's enough to put him into 3rd place. Stroll into 4th, the 1:17.111 as Perez gets very unstable through turn 12, almost losing the car into the gravel trap. The rear tyres on that racing point just completely sideways. Comes to the chicane, gets on that banana rumble strip at the exit, out of turn 16 as well. Perez a good first sector and second. 5th fastest to 1:17.036. So, it's Gasly, Kvyat, Leclerc, Vettel and Raikkonen in the drop zone at the moment. 2 minutes to go of qualifying 2, and we have a Monza situation back of last year. We've got all 15 cars have gone out together, and they are all trying to back up to find some pace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them all together, all going to compromise each other's on lap time. We've got 1:40. That's enough for 2 racing laps. We've got a race going on here in qualifying at the moment. Round the outside, and of course these are their tyres they're starting the race on. They don't want the situation where they need to do another run. They haven't got enough time, and they are all going so slowly. It's almost a crawling pace coming through the chicane at turns 14 and 15, and this is is just a shambles because we've got cars now that are going to come flying through. Lando Norris is backed up so much he's now got a little bit of a run. Charles Leclerc has got a run with a minute to go, but that was a shambles. Absolute shambles. There should be a minimum time in qualifying to stop that happening, and Leclerc 3/10 down on Hamilton's time. That's enough to put in third fastest at the moment. In the drop zone, at the moment we've got Vettel again looking to be out qualified in this one from Ocon, Gasly, Kvyat and Raikkonen. The bigger shock would come from Vettel and Ocon not qualifying for the next part of qualifying, but who are you going to kick out? It must be Ricciardo, because Albon's ninth fastest at the moment. The two McLarens are looking quite strong, as are the two Racing Points. They've come out of the blue with their pace this afternoon. Perez fastest of all in the first sector. Dropped 4/10 in the second. Albon 7/10 off. Don't think Albon's going to improve that much either. Looking as well, everyone's headed out now on the soft compound tyre, bar Kimi Raikkonen, who is going to qualify on the medium compounds apparently. The checkered flag comes out. Charles Leclerc the first to meet it. He doesn't improve his time. Stays fifth fastest. Sergio Perez just behind, improves to fifth. 1:16.936. Alexander Albon goes eighth to 1:17.163. He's secure, maybe. Lando Norris ninth at the moment, stays ninth, 1:17.166. Carlos Sainz is just behind him, takes the checkered flag, stays fourth, doesn't improve his time. Danny Ricciardo on the cusp in 10th, has to remain there, he could be eliminated. Esteban Ocon is flying, good second sector, can't improve though. Personal best after a bad first sector, he goes 12th fastest, and Danny Kvyat goes 10th. That kicks out Danny Ricciardo. Sebastian Vettel to the line and goes 10th, but with Gasly right behind, same as Raikkonen. So Kvyat, Ricciardo and Ocon eliminated. As Stroll goes 4th, is Gasly going to kick out Vettel to the line? He does! Gasly 5th, 1:16.8. Lando Norris in trouble if Raikkonen can move up the order. Across the line, Raikkonen goes 14th, but once again, by just 0.02 of a second, it is Sebastian Vettel eliminated in the second part of qualifying. 0.02 of a second. My goodness, soft tyres couldn't do it. Vettel kicked out of qualifying by 0.02 of a second. Vettel, Kvyat, Ricciardo, Raikkonen and Ocon eliminated from qualifying. Going through to Q3, Hamilton, Bottas, Verstappen, Stroll, Gasly, Sainz, Perez, Leclerc, Albon and Norris.
Qualifying 3.
And the green light is on, and the third and final part of qualifying is underway for the Spanish Grand Prix. 12 minutes, 10 cars. The fastest driver starts on pole position. The rest of the 9 fill in positions 2 to 10. And this is the big one, because we have limited tyres now for the soft compounds. No one's going to use the mediums going forward, and the question now remains exactly who's going to be where. Alongside me in the commentary box is Ian Birch. Hello, Dad. What have you made of the qualifying so far?
Well, no surprise with Vettel.
Yeah,
right.
Out of Q2.
And,
sorry to cut across you. Lewis Hamilton just had to back off there as it's Max Verstappen has just come out and nearly chopped off his front wing. That was a big one.
That's just Max sending a message.
Yeah, he split the team Mercedes as well. That's going to be crucial for the tow down the start-finish straight. Over to you.
I mean, Vettel must have thought he just about pulled it off just then, but last minute he got pipped at the post, and he's just clearly not happy. The team not happy with him either. You asked whether or not it is the end of Vettel.
Yeah.
It could be before the next race.
Yeah.
You never know, because how long with the Tifosi on their back and the press in Italy will Ferrari put up with these poor performances?
We're just seeing a replay of Verstappen coming on in front of Hamilton, and that was a bit of a close one there, but there was a gap. But is that an unsafe release by Red Bull? Or is it Max turning in just a little bit faster?
I think it was just about right. You could say it's an unfair release, but will Mercedes bother to challenge it?
Nah, I don't think they will. I think it'll be pretty... Well, we know that Red Bull would challenge it if it happened to them, but I don't think Toto is bothered at the moment here so far in qualifying. 10 minutes coming up then here as we get ready for the first runs. Perez to the line. Stroll at the moment set the fastest time, but Perez goes quicker, a 1:16.568. Both of them setting the same time. It's going to be Valtteri Bottas, though. This could be the pole time. Only 2 runs in qualifying 3. Is this quick enough? Pole last year after second and third. It's a 1:15.643. Not as quick as we've seen so far this weekend, but a decent enough time. But Hamilton struggling to match that. Personal bests only in the first 2 sectors, but Lewis is quicker than Valtteri in this third sector because he doesn't get caught up on that exit curb at turn 15. Hamilton to the line. Is he quicker? Yes, he is. A 1:15.584, and he's quicker by a tenth of a second, apparently. Verstappen goes third, 1:16.292. That
just proved how much Hamilton gets by not hitting that curb. You know, it's such a, you know, he was green in the first 2 sectors, and he really hammered it in the third, and, you know, that obviously the line that he is taking is the better one.
Hamilton has never failed to start from the front row at this track in the last 7 seasons. He's taken 4 poles in that time as well. He even started on pole in that 2017 season when he went battle to battle with Valtteri Bottas. But in 2016, it was his teammate of Nico Rosberg, and that didn't end well. Carlos Sainz coming down towards turn 5. I thought it was a lock-up. It's a downhill segment of the track where you turn into the left. You're putting a lot of load on the front of the tyre, and there's a bump there that just pushes the front tyre off. So yeah, easy to do. And he's ran wide at the exit of turn 9 as well. 2 minutes to go in this third and final part of qualifying. The running order at the moment: Hamilton, Bottas, Verstappen, Perez, Stroll, Norris, Leclerc, Albon, Sainz and Gasly at the moment. Bottas has been off the front row at the second race in Styria when it was Max Verstappen who started second. So that answers our question from a few moments ago of, has it been a Mercedes lockout all year? No. Verstappen the only other driver to start on the front row alongside Hamilton and Bottas. They have been the top 3 all year, haven't they?
Yeah.
And that's they're even top 3 of the championship: Hamilton, Verstappen and Bottas.
Here we go, countdown. It's the warm-up lap, when they get to the line, bang.
Is Bottas going to have any form of comeback? He's only 0.059 off the pace, down to turn 1 on the soft compound tyres. Maximum 8th gear, 200 plus, hard on the brakes at 100 metres, flick the car to the left and the right, then pull it uphill as well towards turn 3 and 4. And amazingly, you do understeer an awful lot as you come around this 4th turn, because it's uphill and then it goes downhill just after. As you can see, look, you won't see it, he wants to throw you out. But Bottas is fastest in that first sector, but he's down. Personal best, but down. 21.377. Hamilton not improving either, but they're all still within 100th of each other. So that is still going to be the key. Look out for Lance Stroll. He's going to be on a record for pole position here at the moment. He's going really well. That would be a surprise.
Not really, I don't think. The pink Mercedes are really matching the normal Mercedes, aren't they? They're just about half a second down.
Bottas was fastest in the second sector, but got a snap of oversteer at the exit of turn 10. This might have compromised him. Leclerc goes into 6th, a 1:17.087 with 5 seconds left. And then Albon goes 6th, 3 seconds 2. The checkered flag is out. Valtteri Bottas for pole position. He can't do it. He can't. He's way off.
He's mistimed that. He was literally half a second wrong there. You know what I mean.
Hamilton's not improving either.
He wanted an extra lap.
Hamilton's not improving either.
So it's up to Verstappen.
Yeah, all eyes turn to Stroll though. He's fastest first and second sector. Perez looking good as well to disrupt the Mercedes. No.
Stroll 5th.
Second off. No one's improving on this second lap. Hamilton with provisional pole. Norris goes 7th. So that's Leclerc starting 8th at the moment. And Leclerc has backed off a lap, so he's not improving. Gasly 9th.
Verstappen not done well in the first sector.
No, so he's going to really suffer. Perez to the line to split the 2 Mercedes. No, that's the second row of the grid for Racing Point. Verstappen, all hope lies on him splitting the Mercedes front row dominance. They've been on pole here for 6 years running. Is it going to be again today? Verstappen can't improve. No one's Albon's improved. Hamilton takes his 94th career pole position, a 1:15.584. Bottas second, another Mercedes front row lockout. Then we get Verstappen, Perez, Stroll, Albon, Sainz, Norris, Leclerc and Gasly. Nobody improved on that run at all. That is surprising.
Well, wonder if it's the fact that these tyres don't do very well after the first lap.
Yeah, I think they haven't.
The first main run lap.
And they lost it all
They
as well.
lost it. That's proof of it. These tyres are still not right.
And again, that's going to leave a topsy-turvy grid as they've qualified on these soft tyres in Q2 as well. And that's the ones they're going to have to start on. So it's Lewis Hamilton who takes pole position at the Spanish Grand Prix from Valtteri Bottas and Max Verstappen. The run down to turn 1, the longest of the year, is going to be very, very interesting. A topsy-turvy grid then. Lewis Hamilton on pole position with Valtteri Bottas alongside. The run down to turn 1 is the longest of the year. The 2020 Spanish Grand Prix in the company of Joshua Birch and Ian Birch.
Round 6, the Spanish Grand Prix.
So it is the 6th round of the Formula 1 World Championship, the end of the second double-header. A Mercedes front row in Barcelona. All 5 lights are on. Action in Barcelona. Good start from Max Verstappen. Hamilton gets the getaway down towards turn 1. I think he's just got ahead of Bottas. I think Bottas has got to worry about both Max Verstappen and Lance Stroll diving up the inside. Stroll takes their 3rd place away. Bottas falls back. Great start from Verstappen up to 2nd place. Perez now battling with Bottas. He never got a good start, did he? Side by side down towards turn 4, and it's not going to work out that way for Bottas. He holds off from Sergio Perez. Meanwhile, further back, there's not that much drama. A clean start for everyone, but Verstappen making a great start down towards turn 5. Side by side and further back, there's a Renault versus Danny Kvyat. It's Ocon versus Kvyat. No moves there.
Albon made a good start as well. He challenged the people in front of him really quickly, which is what we were asking of him. And the 2 pink Mercs are doing their job. So, and it was a clean start, which is what we wanted as well as the
Leclerc dives up the inside quite late on Pierre Gasly at turn 10. I think their wheels got locked there. That was a very close contact manoeuvre. And Leclerc battling now with Lando Norris. Lando likes this circuit. He's raced it an awful lot over the years across many different formulas, so he's really going to be one to watch in this Grand Prix. Leclerc, not so much raced at this circuit. He has won here, though, before in Formula 2.
Who would have said a few years ago that the 2 McLarens would be battling the 2 Mercedes?
I know.
The 2 Ferraris.
Yeah. Bottas is going to have another go. He's got a clean line on the inside as he goes through up it towards turn 1, which is called Expo 91, and he gets through on Lance Stroll. So that is Bottas back up to 3rd as Verstappen set the fastest lap of 1:24.596, and he's starting to close the gap to Lewis Hamilton. Meantime, that is Vettel under pressure. I think he's just got ahead
from the AlphaTauri.
That's Kvyat, and that is Leclerc getting past. As now the other Ferrari, Vettel, goes side by side with Kvyat. So that's Gasly's past Leclerc.
No love at all between Kvyat and Sebastian.
No, indeed not. Not after a couple of weeks ago.
Torpedo is what he called him a few years ago.
Let's take a look at the start then. Let's have a look at Bottas. He just never got going. So much wheel spin. Do you see the black lines he left behind as well?
Yeah, they should have done the traction abilities of the rear tyres as well as the fronts.
Fantastic start from Lance Stroll, diving his way through from the 3rd row of the grid up into 3rd place, forced Bottas out wide. Albon did get a great start, but I think he got compromised by Bottas having to react to Stroll, and then that let Perez go through. On board with Bottas. Too much wheel spin at the start. He was 4.9 seconds before he hit full power. That's so bad.
You see, there is a thing in the paddock about the fact that Perez will be out in this race to prove that he is a better driver than Hülkenberg by getting on the podium. And that is Perez's gain.
He's mind games
mind
playing
game
ahead,
for today.
I just wonder, was Stroll actually coming across to defend from Perez rather than go for the gap that was there? How close was he not to get a puncture? That front wing end plate was so close to ripping the front tyre of Stroll that could have actually had damage. Here's Albon. Now watch this.
Albon's still sixth, but he had a good start.
He had to back out. Yeah,
he had to back out because of the shenanigans in front of him.
So that just dropped him down.
Yeah, Perez and Bottas, wasn't it, in front of him?
Yeah. And it's lap 6 of 66.
And Valtteri now has the top three all have the fastest lap after 6 laps of this circuit.
1:23.796.
Up and down between all of them.
Well, I hate to play devil's advocate, but it's lap 6 out of 66, and right now it's Lewis Hamilton leading the way from Max Verstappen and Valtteri Bottas. Oh, hello. They're the hards. They're the hard tyres going on then. That's
got to be for Max.
Yeah, it's got to be for Max Verstappen. They are his only set of hard compound tyres, and this is what Megan was saying. This is going to be it's Albon.
Yeah.
It's Albon.
We should have numbers on these tyres.
Yeah, just so we know who's who.
Because they are to one particular driver, so why don't they put a number on it?
Yeah, so we can
then we would all know
where's where.
Yeah.
But that's Albon pitting.
Practice pit stop there for Red Bull.
Yeah, that's just getting ready.
To make sure that everything's working so that they can bring in
Verstappen.
Max.
So Albon puts his only new set of hard compound tyres on that he's got for this race. And that is going to be a little bit of an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah, he's on lap 18, so he's going for a 28 lap strategy there.
So everyone's tyres have done at least 20 laps. Vettel's has done 17. I tell you what, I'm surprised as anything that these tyres are the softs. I'm managing this track for this long. Verstappen pits. You're right, they've brought him in. Softs go off, mediums go on. That's interesting. So they've opposite strategy.
Sticker red, yellows.
So that is Verstappen. He's got 2 sets of the mediums. So Verstappen's on a 2-stop strategy compared to Albon, who's on a 1.
Shiny on a Sunday afternoon for Max Verstappen there. His wheels are all brand new sticker red, yellow.
Crucially, though, he's got out in front of Lance Stroll, which is what his race engineer said wouldn't happen. They dropped behind the racing points.
Yeah.
Mercedes, box, and for Hamilton.
Yeah, Lewis is going in.
That surprises me that they're not going to pit Bottas first. Would they risk the undercut? I'd suppose not. Mediums going on for Hamilton, so it's a 2-stopper for Mercedes as well.
Yeah, and
that's surprising. I thought they would have risked it. Well, I don't think they want to risk it.
I thought he was already gone in.
No, I thought he had, to be fair, but that was Verstappen, wasn't it? So this is Hamilton coming in. Bottas will take the lead.
I meant that. I thought Lewis had already entered.
Bottas pits as well. Mercedes are double stacking, but it's slow. Slow rear left of Hamilton, 4.3 seconds. That's crucial. Bottas coming into the pit lane now. Mercedes are double stacking themselves. Verstappen coming on. Okay, so maybe it hasn't paid off that badly for Hamilton, but this could cost Bottas second place, has it? Verstappen comes across the line. Yes. So Verstappen up into second place as Hamilton rejoins in the lead. Verstappen now second and Bottas down to third place, but both of them are now on mediums. And has Bottas going to keep off of Lance Stroll just behind? Yes.
Do you know, call it intuition, but that right rear, when they were waiting for Lewis to come in, something didn't look right about it.
Yeah. So it was a bit dodgy, wasn't there? There was a lot of fuss around.
Yeah.
It worked fine for Bottas, though. Must have been like a stone or something.
They were looking at something.
Yeah.
And so, it could have been something that was...
There's a lot of dust gravel. There's a lot of dust gravel around this circuit that blows into the pit lane. Let's take another look at it. So
Lewis Hamilton, look at the rear tyre, your right rear. Came off okay.
And just never went on.
It didn't go on okay.
We need that other angle we had from the top down view. I don't think we're going to get it though.
You saw the sticker coming off them.
So Stroll pits from the back. That's an interesting one. I didn't expect them to pit this early. I thought Racing Point would try and go a couple laps more. But no, they've clearly had something there.
Stroll will come out in 8th or 9th place. So... He's the back of the front, if that's what you meant. Other than that, all you can say is, that's a nice bit of overtake.
Ocon getting past.
Finally getting past.
Ocon getting past Kevin Magnussen. Is that going to leave Albon any place? Whoa, that was close.
Yeah,
Albon sending it around the outside.
I think Kevin's tyres, have they just been replaced?
No, not yet.
Oh, because he's losing places hand over fist. Coming up to halfway, here's a replay of Lewis. What's Lewis up to that's caused all the problems? Is it that rear right tyre? I don't see any problem there. There we have. The rear right tyre has a blister on it. Oh, well. And here we come in for the pit stop of one of the... I think it's Perez, isn't it? Yeah, Perez in the pit lane. That's a nice clean stop. Another set of sticker mediums going on there, and I think that was Sebastian coming in for his pit stop. Sainz goes through, and Ocon and that is coming up to the rear of the pink Merc.
Hold on a second. I sense rain. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. I wanted to say that for years. And look at this.
Are you thinking thunderstorm?
I'm thinking thunderstorms, yeah. Track temperature's dropping dramatically. I didn't notice it dropped actually from the start of the race. Leclerc looking good, but meantime, that is Gasly making a great pass on Ocon. Ocon's got a pit. He's stupid staying out this long, unless he knows something we don't about the weather forecast.
Yeah, Ocon, as I was saying, is on 33 laps on this medium tyre. So he is the one that we said at the beginning he was possibly trying to do a one-stop race.
It's not working, because now look at Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc coming right behind them. This could be good for Charles Leclerc to try and get past around the outside. Dangerous move on the grass almost is Leclerc. That's not an overtaking spot in the way down to turn 7 and 8. That would have ended in tears big time. When I say big time, I mean somersaults big time. Whoa! Turn 9's not an option either. That's a fast, flat-out right-hander. DRS open.
Good defensive driving by Lando.
Yeah, he's not taking anything, is he, this year? He's like a different man.
He's got a Renault right in front of him.
Oh, and as he sent Leclerc off the track, Leclerc tried to go around the outside, but that move was never going to work, and he rumbled over the rumble strips. Oh, we've got a yellow flag in the third sector, and that's Charles Leclerc! Charles Leclerc has spun!
And where is the Lando? That's the main thing.
Good point. He's installed the engine.
He's also knackered his tyres, so that's going to be...
He's right near the pit lane. That might be, if he stalled it, it's a safety car. Let's have a look what happened to Charles Leclerc coming into the turn 14-15 segment. I think he just locks the rears. Yeah.
Yeah, he said something's broken, and he's suggesting that it's a suspension failure.
Rear's locked.
But, his rear's locked there.
He's got going. He's managed to get the engine going. So it's not an engine failure. We have gone green. No need for a safety car. So that's okay.
So disaster for Ferrari. They have Vettel in 11th. In the midfield, and Leclerc right at the back, even behind Latifi now. Latifi had he pitted to make him 22 seconds behind?
Yes, he's pitted.
Because he can't have made up 14 seconds.
That's Albon pitting, and he put the heart on. He should have been good to the end of the race, but he's thinking rain, isn't he? Can I just say, it's bright sunshine at one half of the circuit. You look back towards the mountains, it's rain.
Hang on a minute. Albon has had all 3 tyres on now.
Yeah, so he's good.
Soft, medium and hard.
Yeah, so he's good. He's done the tyre compounds.
Yeah, he's done all 3, hasn't he? He only has to do 2.
Embarrassingly, though, Verstappen's coming up to lap Albon. Yeah. Albon's a lap down, isn't he, according to my monitor? Yeah, Albon's a lap down.
The strategy that they've done for Albon has clearly...
exploded again.
Not well.
I feel
Simon
so sorry.
René,
yeah.
Hasn't had a good start to his career with that lad.
Charles Leclerc is out of the Spanish Grand Prix on lap 41 out of 66. The car failing with the engines. He's now finally taking his seatbelts off. And that is a bitter disappointment for Ferrari.
And if you're the Tifosi, right, back in Italy, your heads have gone down, you're making the coffee because of the fact that your only hope now is Vettel, who is uninterested.
He is, and he's intense at the moment. And if Vettel wins this Grand Prix, I'd eat my hat. and this is for position, I think. Or is this Albon? I'm not sure, actually. This is position. I think it is, actually. Albon. Is that Albon or is it Verstappen? It's Albon trying to go around the outside of Carlos Sainz. Sainz defending with all his might for the last points position. Did he move twice? I don't know, but wow, Albon's been looking at the textbook that Kvyat gave him because he's trying to go right round the outside at turn 4. It didn't work out that time. Carlos Sainz has seen the action zones for this Grand Prix and knew exactly how to defend. So yeah, Sainz holds off for 10th, Albon down to 11th place at the moment. So good times. Oh, time penalty
for Perez of 5 seconds. Right.
Ignoring blue flags. No, that's not right. I'm sorry.
But that puts Vettel in with a chance.
Okay, Dad, this is what's happened for Sergio Perez. Where's the blue flags? There's one blue flag, but Hamilton apparently lapped him. 1 blue flag, 2 blue flag, 3 blue flag on the main straight, but Hamilton was nowhere near. What was Perez going to do? The rules say that you're not allowed to move off the racing line.
That's appealable.
The rules say that the driver being lapped must stay on the racing line and not deviate. It is up to the car lapping the driver to move along. And the reason that we were so confused is because Hamilton then pitted that lap and released Perez in front of him.
I still feel that was not...
No. Not right.
An ignore of a blue flag.
That was him on the line.
What if you say you want him to brake?
Yeah.
Lewis is right up at the back end of him.
That's silly.
That would be silly.
That is so stupid. I'll say it now.
It's also silly that the actual the guys that are supposed to have the rules and all the cameras in front of them don't think the same as us. That shows that they're a bit above themselves.
At Diana DJ7, bleep, penalty for Perez, to be honest. Penalty is told of his fighting time penalty. No way. Why didn't you tell me to move out of the way?
Danny Kvyat as well.
Oh my God.
And we saw that one. Where was Danny supposed to go?
That's on the front straight away. That's the start finish straight as well.
Whoever is the driver's steward should be shouting at those other people because this is not on.
Here comes Stroll, breezing past the Ferrari into turn 1 for 5th place. That wasn't just an easy move. That was a domination move.
Yeah, and the tyres, Vettel's tyres, we know are in a dangerous situation, but he's going to try and get to the end on them. But it made him easy pickings there for Lance Stroll.
Kimi Raikkonen trying to get past Romain Grosjean, and Grosjean chopping off the front there of Raikkonen. Well, it's just Grosjean, isn't it?
Yeah, who should be surprised? Roman should have left this sport 2 years ago.
As we're on to the last lap then of the Spanish Grand Prix.
And Lewis has got just, 3/4 of a lap to go?
Yep, 3/4.
Come on, Lewis.
What's this replay of? Romain Grosjean. Oh, Grosjean's having a half spin at the exit of turn 8. That was a lucky save, because that would have been into the barriers big time at that part of the track. We had to stop the race a couple of years ago. In the Formula 2 for an instant there.
Yeah, Grosjean 19th place.
We've got a big train from 7th below. So we've got, hang on, who goes to go back to? So we've got Vettel, Albon, Gasly, Norris, Ricciardo, Kvyat, all in this battle between Vettel. Vettel's holding them all up. And we've even got Gasly involved in it as well. Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Lando's going to be able to do a last lap 5 thing in front.
Hamilton's coming to the end of the lap. He's 23 seconds ahead of Verstappen. In the majority of the races this year, it's always been... 4 corners
to go for Lewis.
Yeah. In the majority of this season, it's been Hamilton, and it has been Verstappen, and it has been Bottas. Hamilton has a 30-point advantage.
Here we go, Lewis.
To Max Verstappen. He's done it again. Once again, it's victory. It's once, twice, and 3 times a winner in 2020.
Yes, Lewis. Go on.
Hamilton wins. And Verstappen will come home 23 seconds later.
I really was worried that front left had actually run over that carbon fibre on the tyre.
It does look bad still.
It doesn't look well.
Here comes Max Verstappen, held off for 2nd place. Lewis only increases his championship by 7 points, but that's 2 races Verstappen's got to do now. But he's back on the podium here. And Valtteri Bottas comes home in third place, but it's the battle behind that is going to be interesting. Don't forget, these guys are all a lap down. So this is Vettel 7th, Albon 8th, Gasly 9th, Norris 10th and gets the last point, and Ricciardo and Kvyat just hold off. There's Valtteri Bottas crossing the line and getting, crucially, the fastest lap of the race, a 1:18.183. But Lewis Hamilton wins the Spanish Grand Prix. And a new lap record for Bottas, a 1:18.183. Lewis Hamilton, winner in Spain.
Next race, Belgium.
Not exactly the greatest race, but still, any chance to have Formula One on track in 2020 comes as a blessing. We will return in 2 weeks' time at Spa-Francorchamps for the Belgium Grand Prix, followed by the Italian and Tuscany Grand Prix. Yes, Formula One starts its third triple header in 2 weeks' time. Enjoy what you get of a summer holiday. It's bye for now.